Hey there, welcome to Catching Up, where we catch up with some of your favorite past professional athletes. I'm Scott McCarron, along with John Henry Mills, and today's guest is one of the all-time great Oilers.
Yes, he is, Bubba McDowell.
Bubba, it's great to have you. How are you doing?
How's it going, Bub?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good. It's a pleasure to have you on the show with us. To begin with, what we like to do is bring our listeners up to speed on your football career. You grew up in Georgia. You went on and won a national championship at the University of Miami under Jimmy Johnson. You were drafted by the Oilers. Oh, no?
Well, I was actually I was born in Georgia, but I grew up in Florida, Mare Island. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You're a Florida boy too, man.
Yeah. Okay. We left Georgia around 3, baby. I was there ever since. So,
okay. Yeah, you're more of a Florida guy then.
Yeah.
And then after being at University of Miami, you were drafted obviously by the Oilers and made an immediate impact. Your first team All-Pro rookie, helped the Oilers to 5 straight playoff berths. And then you went on to help the expansion Panthers in their inaugural season. So fill us in on what you've been doing since your playing days.
Oh, just growing a lot of gray hairs, after, actually, when I actually got done playing, I actually jumped into the restaurant business. A couple of guys and several guys. We opened up a Copeland's here in Houston. That lasted 4 years, 4 good years. Then after that, Alonzo Highsmith talked me into coaching, man. I started training guys. Immediately after that, getting guys ready for the pro level, be it college guys coming out. Daniel Manning, I was training him. Ken Hamlin, trained him coming out, getting them ready for their pro day, as well as high school kids, getting ready for their heading into a college. So, and then, hey, Alonzo said, man, you good with kids? You ought to jump into this coaching thing. I said, no. Not going to do it, man. And sure. He said, well, just give it a try. So I give it a try for 4 years. I volunteered for 4 years at Texas Southern. And then after that, I jumped into it. And for 2 more years, Steve Wilson as a full-time guy, and went over to Coach Browse for a year at U of H before he left and went to Baylor. Then transitioned over to Willow Ridge for 2 years, and then from there, been here transitioning up to PV. Coach Northern called me in, come up there, and been here ever since. Going into my 13th year.
Wow, I didn't realize it's been that long.
Just finishing up the championship game there. Fell short against the Rattlers, obviously, but had a great year. Outstanding year. What does it look like for next year? What does it look like? What's going on?
Looking good, man. We looking good. We get some guys in to replace the guys that left. We had a big senior class and some guys that actually, and when I say senior, guys that actually played starters as well. So got to revamp that O-line, which we are doing right now. And defensive side, of course, you can't get enough of those up front guys. We with this transfer portal thing going on, it's you either hit or miss. It's like we're always recruiting now. Recruiting to bring them in and recruiting them to stay. So it is a constant battle.
Yeah, I can only imagine. As a fan, spectator type, I have my thoughts on the whole portal, and I can only imagine what you coaches go through and having to deal with that.
I mean, it's definitely difficult for me. I've heard the stories. Go ahead, Bub. Tell them. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. Because it's right off the bat. It's like, hey, it ain't conversation not, hey, can you come play for me? I mean, it's like, hey, coach, what you got for me? I mean, it's some conversations are just that blatant, man. They you talk with them and you just briefly kind of let them know what you're doing, what you want to do with them, how they can impact your team, the university, to help you win. And shoot, man, next thing come out, coach, well, this guy off from this school, that school off from me, and, what can you guys do? So it's that constant battle, man, between, the NIL deal and deals and, just getting guys in just, to play for you, without the money side of it.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to jump into a segment that we call 5 Questions, where we'll throw some questions at you. You just sort of fill us in on what your thoughts are on them.
I mean, playing for such a long time and being around a lot of veterans, who was the most fun player you've ever been around, Bub?
No, I would say by far, man. We had a lot of, we had some characters on that team, man. But I would say for sure, E.G. Ernest Givens, man, because he would come into practice every day, man, just ready to go, thinking he was the best thing God ever created, athletic wise, car wise, dressing up wise.
Yes.
Man, it was fun to be around that guy, man. But at the same time, I used to challenge him a lot, and I did it 2-1, thinking I was, bigger, stronger, and I can jam him up. But it's also making me a better player. And I think really for my rookie season, I think that's, going against guys like him in practice and having fun with it, but also learning at the same time, help me get those accolades at the end of the year.
So tell me, what's your favorite memory from when you played?
Oh, man, I got a lot of them, but I would say by far, I think it was my rookie year, or 90, maybe 91, 90, when I had those 2 interceptions against Pittsburgh in the Dome. And the one time, I think it was the second one, I was running around, guys couldn't tackle me, and I got so tired of running around, and I was headed to the end zone, wide up. I just didn't have any more speed. I was just gassed. And I tried to flip the ball to 2-9, what we call him, Patrick Allen. And he mishandled the ball. He could have just walked right into the end zone. Luckily, we got it back, but boy, I got ridiculed right after that. Man, just get down.
Right, that's funny.
Yeah, that was by far the best game that I can remember that I've had.
So, Bub, as you look at it, who was your favorite team growing up as an adolescent?
Favorite team growing up? Oh, Cowboys by far, yeah, Cowboys.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be. I honestly thought I was going to be with the Cowboys. I had, coming out Miami. Jimmy left that same year, and he went to the Cowboys, and and everybody used to always ask me, "Hey, man, why did Jimmy not pick you in the second round? Man, he had a chance to pick you in the second round. He passed up on you." I say, "Hey, I have no idea." Well, I found out later on, through reporters and, guys that I knew in the business. They're like, yeah, man, they always just ask me about that, because again, like I said, I ended up having a pretty good rookie year. And, they talked with Jimmy about it. And Jimmy said, yeah, I would never listen to scouts again. And I said, why you say that? I said, well, he said that the scouts saying that you didn't have a good 40, and I got, and true enough, I got invited to a combine late, coming from the Hula Bowl. Me and a teammate just played in the Hula Bowl, and we was headed back, and my agent called me and said, hey, man, do you want to play in the senior bowl, or do you just want to go home and get ready for the combine? He said, again, if you got to go to the senior bowl, you got to show up. It can either make you or break you. I said, you know what, I'm just go back home and train and get ready for combine.
Smart.
So, going to combine, and again, I had, okay, I guess wasn't fast enough, and I guess that's what Jimmy saw, the scout saw, and it was Jimmy's rookie year as well as a coach, as a head coach. One of the most dominant teams, recognizable teams in America, and but yeah, he passed me up, and they used to kid me about it all the time, man, and he came back later on and said, yeah, I would never listen to scouts again after the rookie season that I had.
Right.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So, tell me, who do you think has been the most inspirational person to you, and why?
God, and we're talking about just playing football on the football scale, Brown?
I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, if we're going to go just inspirational person, it would have to be Mom. And I say that, honestly, because, Dad wasn't around a lot growing up. She worked, tirelessly, 2 or 3 jobs, and I used to get up with her every Saturday morning. I couldn't even watch cartoons, man. And, I had to go to work with her, to to clean the doctor's office, then a doctor's office that morning, and then come on back. Or I was, either, if I wasn't with her that Saturday morning, I was with Dad out dealership, washing cars. But man, she was always there. Always been in my corner from day one, just telling me, hey, I don't care if you go to the pro level. I just need you to get that degree from Miami, which I ended up getting in business management. And, she was more like a friend growing up, and I could talk to her about anything. And that still, holds to the day. We talk, maybe once, twice a week, just she check up on you. Hey, baby, how you doing? What's going on? She knows when something's going on. She can feel it. I don't know how she feels it, but she just she knows it, man. But yeah, that I mean, honestly, that would be, and I'm not saying because she's my mom, but yeah, she's been my rock from day one, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Bub, playing Super Bowl. As far as I can remember if you were with them when you played in Super Bowl. Were you with the Panthers? Didn't they go to Super Bowl that year, or was that the year after?
No, we went to NFC playoffs against Green Bay up there. We lost to Green Bay in Green Bay.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
I do remember
NFC championship. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's right on the door.
Yep.
So let's go into story time. This is where we like to hear just random stories. Can be about skills, can be about favorite memories, whatever your stories you guys have from back in the day.
The defense, 46 defense, practice, any of that stuff. Anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, man, it's a whole lot of stories, boy. It's something you can't even get into, But, man, I mean, we had fun, man. Like I say, going out there against that 46, playing in that 46 defense against Buddy, with Buddy Ryan, man. I don't think I was Buddy's favorite guy at that time when he came in either. Because I remember one time we was at practice early in the morning because we go out, we go in, we meet, shoot, and then we go out, after we look at film, go out for a little walkthrough, and we had a play call, and Sean Jones, it was a blitz, but we're walking through it.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Jones went through the wrong hole, and and so I just adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
Sean went through the B gap, so I just adjusted and went through the C gap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, dude, I got ripped like crazy. He told me, get out, get his ass up, get it. It was, and I'm looking, I'm like, that wasn't my fault, man. Sean went through the wrong hole.
Right.
Jonesy, we call him Jonesy. Jonesy went through the wrong hole, but he was not listening to it. And it took Sean to go in there when we got back in the classroom to watch film to, go in the office and tell Buddy that, it was my fault. And then by the time I didn't know he had went in there.
Uh-huh.
And then when I walked in there, because I was like, oh, no, man, I'm not taking the blame for this,
Uh-huh.
And she walked in there. I said, hey, coach, this one, he's a 2-5. I got it. I know it was Mr. Jones. We got it. Everything's good. We're okay. Let's go to work, I said, okay, good. And the fact that, he Buddy like bigger safeties, and man, I tried to get up, gain about another 10 pounds. And man, when I did that, man, that's when I started feeling like yuck, and just trying to play more in that box, with the 46 defense.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I gained some weight. I couldn't move as swift, as fast as I was able to back, when I first got there. So, yeah, that 46 was a little scary for me just because, Buddy was used to playing with those bigger safeties, But we had a little scrappy behind me, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Hold on. Blaine was nothing but a $190.
And see that dude could get in there, man, and just do what he did, man. It was crazy, man, to be that small. But boy, he was feisty, man. And and he, and see him do that, because that's when I started getting hurt, man. And to see him perform like he did at that size, it was awesome to see, man. And it kind of inspired me to get back down to my playing weight, I can do this. at that weight, So I ended up getting back down. By that time, I tore that knee up and then got shipped off to Carolina.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what's it like? I asked Skills this when we talked a couple weeks ago about when you're sort of at the tail end of playing. Football's such a rough sport, and the timeline on it is short for a lot of players. So what was it for you to sort of what was the awakening of when you realized it's time to sort of hang it up?
When I kept getting hurt all the time. It was like little nagging things. Of course, it started with the knee, then, shoulder to a pec muscle against the playoff game in Kansas City when we had Kansas City in the dome that year.
I remember that.
Again, that week. Yeah, and I remember Skills out the year where we lost the first 3 games, and then we went on that 11-0 streak of innings to get to the playoffs to have a first round bye.
Right.
Little things like that started nagging me. And then even when I got to Carolina, the Achilles started bothering me, and sat out a couple of games, and I got shipped out going into the 96 season, summer season, 96 season, and Achilles was so bad I had to sit out quite a bit with that deal, and just never got right. Went over, they released me, went over to Philly, played well there preseason, first 2 games, and that last one in the Philly Stadium, and it wasn't feeling right, and come to find out it was torn. Very first kickoff, running down, and I see, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. So went and got it fixed, and thinking I was going to be able to get back, from the Achilles tendon tear repair, and but I couldn't. It took probably a year and a half for me to feel comfortable running on it. Felt like I was getting ready to tear it again, and and consulting with the doctors, they were like, "No, man, you just got to break that scar tissue up," and because they repaired it. They said, "Hey, look, we repaired it, really thick back there. You're not going to pop it again. You'll most likely pop that right one before you pop the left one again." And it was just little nagging things, guys, that kept happening. And I said, "Okay, yeah, this is not going well." So and it's kind of got in my mind like, "Okay, yeah, this is time to give it up, before the body gets too bad."
Correct.
Yeah.
So moving forward, Bubba, we're going to ask you a couple questions like player word association, and I want you to give us one word about each player that we give you. We're going to start off with Warren Moon.
Oh, dynamic.
Good.
All right, Steve McNair.
Poise.
Good one.
Poise.
Eddie George.
Powerful.
Powerful. Okay.
How about Bruce Matthews?
Oh, Bruce. Oh, wow. That's a tough one there, man. But if I had to give a word for Bruce, man, I would say, quiet storm, quiet, quiet calm.
Good. Chris Dishman.
Rambunctious, man.
There's multiple things that we've heard about him. Killer.
Yeah, you can rambunctious, dude. You can be competitive. Oh my God, that dude there, boy. He taught me a lot, man. I learned a lot from him.
That's good.
Hey, Bubba, I wanted to ask you a question. Were there any veterans that sort of took you under your wing when you first came up?
Oh yeah, when I got there, it was Richard Johnson and Chris Dishman. They did, yes. They taught me a lot, man, and things that I was supposed to do, not to do. And again, that's on and off the field, because when I first got there, man, it was like and Nick Saban was like, "Hey, man, you need to get it together. We brought you in here to play." He said, "You can play." Yeah, and I was talking 3rd round pick, 77th pick, and I was a rookie. I was still nervous. He's like, "Look, man, you can do this, and you got to get in, and you got to study the film. It's a lot different than college." And and I after he and I had that talk, and I remember one time, and it kind of got to me. I think it was my rookie year. We were playing against Chicago, and he called me. He told me that he said, "Man, at the end of the game, he said, Lambert wanted to sit you down. He said he was going to sit you down, not start you anymore." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, because you wasn't doing what you were supposed to." And I wasn't. I was. It was time when Neil. I think it was Neil Anderson. We had a blitz on, and he came out of the backfield, and I was supposed to blitz Peel, and I didn't peel off of him, and he ran to the flat, and they dumped the ball off to him, and it was a touchdown. And I guess that's what they, those guys were giving that blitz and bubbles. They're like, "Oh yeah, he ain't worried about covering, he ain't worried about doing it." And once you call a blitz, he's going no matter what. And Nick said, "Yeah, man." I just told him, say, "Hey, just keep him in." Sure enough, he's gonna make some plays. Yeah, and I ended up causing the fumble and recovering the fumble that game, and ended up getting the game ball for that game, man. But yeah, it was after that, I started gravitating more to Chris and Richard. Richard used to always tell me, "Hey man, you need to, you got all these good numbers, man, but you need to celebrate more. And, you need to show guys, you need to show people that that you like the game."
Wait a minute, you from Miami? You know how to
I
celebrate,
dude. That's the funny thing. That's so true. I'm like, dude, you're so different than the other Miami guys. Yeah, I am. But skills, I just couldn't do it, man. It's like for some reason, like I just do my job, then I just go about my way, get ready for the next play.
Love it.
So those guys, yeah. Go ahead.
That reminds me of another Miami guy that had the same mentality, Andre Johnson. Just one of those guys that doesn't celebrate, just act like you've been there type mentality.
But it carries you a long way. I mean, when you're like that and you're humble, I think so. And Bubba, truth test to it. When you're humble, you act like you've been there before. It just keeps coming to you. No one wants. And a lot of people. Some people want to see it. Some people don't. Let's say it that way. Maybe 50-50, right, Bub?
Yeah, and I tried a couple of games. Right after Richard told me about it, I tried a couple of games, man. It felt good, but it didn't last.
It's not authentic.
It didn't. Yeah, but yeah, those two guys definitely, I would say for sure, took me under their wings, and like I said, me and Chris, and are still good friends to this day. We still talk, about different things, techniques, as I do all the guys, because they got been on that big level, and just wanted to make sure that, I'm still teaching the right techniques, and, with the DBs and things like that. So I kind of, talk with them, Jack, Rag, Rich, yeah.
That reminds me. Before we got on air, we were talking. You guys started talking about the golf game. We were gonna pick that up on air.
Well, it's okay. We play once. We used to play probably about once every every year to almost 2 to 3 years, and we have a little trophy that we pass around amongst the group. It's about 12 of us. We've traveled all the way to Vegas, to Dallas, to here in Houston, obviously, and we pass this trophy around. Obviously, me and Bubba, I can say, are the two best golfers out of the group. Now, we have a guy, kid, Stan Petrie, that has the trophy.
Can't get it by Stan.
And Stan's good, but for the long running, between me and Bubba, who has it the most? Like, we both had it, about 3 or 4 piece? Am I right, Bub? Right?
Yeah.
So we've kind of passing it through each other. And Stan has had it for the last probably like 4 years, because once you have the trophy, you're supposed to set up the golf tournament for the next year. But Stan is moving, moving his feet slow, whatnot. But he has not set up the tournament.
Yeah. And get it, folks. What we call it?
Caddyshack. What's a Caddyshack? Caddyshack trophy. Yeah, we got a plate on it. Big trophy, stands about at least 2.5 feet high. Called Caddyshack trophy. It's awesome. It's a big trophy.
I think you guys need to prod him a little bit.
Say it again.
I think you guys need to prod him a little bit. We need to get this tournament going again.
We can. I'll call Stan. I'll have Stan on the next show and make sure we get that tournament going. That's awesome.
And tell Stan when you get him on there, if I don't talk to him first, I'm gonna ride with him this time.
Exactly. So that's one of the big things that we do too. So like we know, like it's just like teeing off at the end of the day, like a PGA tournament. The best golfers tee off all together and at the end, just so we can kind of keep an eye on each other because between Bubba, Stan, PC. PC and me myself, we're the 4 best golfers, and we normally tee off at the last group of the day. So that is true.
That's awesome. Well, I think we should put a wrap on this episode.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Go ahead.
No, So, Bubba, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Yeah. And Bubba, we appreciate it, and obviously we're going to have you on again. I mean, you're one of the icons here in Houston, and maybe we can do a little 3-way with some guys, and you're on the phone with the other guys, and we can all kind of collaborate and tell some more stories.
Yeah, I would love it.
But thank you guys for another episode of Catching Up, and thanks again, Bubba, and we'll see you again next week.